championship?
Wow, it really hadn't set in yet, but just to see the smiles on the faces of these young men. And we started back in August, and we told them it would take 122 days of total commitment. And just to see those guys amidst all the distractions, the possible distractions, this team right here is a special group of young men, led by a great group of seniors. And for them to have a chance to get their 53rd win and to win 4 titles in a row, so happy for our fans. Just you think about 10 years ago, Coach Sweeney talked about 10 years ago, he was given an opportunity, and here we are now, and we're just getting started. So just unbelievable, amount of focus by young people in this day and age to put themselves aside, to believe in something bigger than themselves, and to come out and to set history.
How much was that first run by Travis scheme or just individual effort on his part?
I wouldn't say it was him, because obviously it was everybody. It was all 11, and that's what's the beauty of offensive football. It takes all 11 for plays like that. If there's not guys, at the receiver position blocking downfield, the offensive line did a great job of covering them up, and that's something we've been working on, trying to get them running sideways and giving Travis a second to diagnose it. And once he sees a hole, he's able to put his foot in the ground. And then once he gets past the linebackers, then his talent takes over, and he was able to kind of weave his way back and make a guy miss there to score a touchdown.
Tony, with all the talent and skill guys you have, what is it about this sophomore running back where he's kind of catapulted himself into becoming really one of the leaders and the main catalyst on your offense?
For him, it starts with he's an extremely talented young man. But you see when he's giving his speeches, he's always giving credit to everybody else, and it's not just him. And he talks about it himself. It's all those guys in that room. And so he's feeding off of Adam Joyce. He's feeding off of Feaster. Dixon has brought something new to the room. So those guys feed off of each other, and he's a very talented young man, and he understands the importance of playing within the system and being a team guy. And when he gets out on the field, he runs with desperation, and I think that's what's allowed him to step in this early in his career and put up the numbers that he has.
Does he have another level?
I think so. I think he does have another level. He's still got to grow physically. He's nowhere near. If you look at an Adam Choice and Feaster up top, he's not. He really had to scratch the surface of how much good weight he can put on, and he's still learning how to carry the extra weight he's put on in his lower body, and then just challenging him from a schematic standpoint to really understand the schemes. You've seen that he's progressed over the year and really starting to learn how to run behind his blocks, set his blocks up. So yeah, he's still got a lot of room to grow.
When you have one guy doing a lot of chunk plays like he is, how tempting is it to ride the hot hand as opposed to your rotations that you guys have?
Last week was versus South Carolina was the most amount of carries in 28, and I was very, very proud of how he carried the load. But you look in the first half, he only touched it 9 times. So those guys have been able to complement each other. And then when Choice can go in there and average 7 yards a carry, so Travis isn't having to do it all by himself. There was one game this season where he did carry a heavy load, and I think that's what's helped him to be dynamic here in the late in the season and going into the postseason, because he's relatively fresh.
Here you guys are 13.
Yeah, so we kept kind of shooting ourselves in the foot, and we knew it was going to be a game with the weather, that it was going to be a little bit tougher to throw the football, and they got a really, really good third down package. They bring an odd personnel group in and really, really challenge you, and we had some opportunities, we just didn't come down with them. We're so used to those big guys on the outside going up and making those plays, and we put them in position to make some of those plays, and tonight we just didn't make those 50-50 balls, and then obviously you're in a situation where you're in some long yardage, so you try to mix it up, run a little bit because of the conditions, and yeah, we weren't our best on third down, and some of it stemmed with we got behind the chains a couple of times on first down, but the second down, but overall proud of the way our guys battled, and when they needed to find plays, they found plays.
Here you guys are 13 now, and you say you're just getting started. What else is out there? What more? How much better can you guys get this year, especially?
You look at, the guys are disappointed that we gave up 1 sack. We had 1 sack in the previous 5 games, and we were trying to have no sacks. We did a really good job in ball security, but we weren't good on third down. We had 5 or 6 in the red zone, so we weren't 100%. So there's always something that we can challenge ourselves. We haven't played the perfect game, and we know we're going to have to be at our best, going into the postseason with the caliber teams that we're going to have to play. And the comment that I made was reference to the program. If we want to be considered, an elite program, then we got to be consistent year in and year out. And so we're just, like I said, we're just getting started. We're not satisfied, and I think that's why our guys are able to remain focused, because we understand that you got to be your best every single day. And nobody cares what you did last year. It's all about what you got in front of you, and that's what I made reference to.
Tony, big picture, what are those biggest areas you'd like to see improve between now and what you guys think?
I'm excited to look at the game and kind of see exactly the areas that we want to improve, but we just got to continue to harp on ball security, protecting the quarterback, and then being able to stay efficient on base downs. You know, we had some spurts where we were really efficient, and then there were some times where we were 1 yard here, a couple negative yards. So really just being efficient on base downs so that we can stay aggressive and stay attacked.
With the passing game tonight, do you think some of the issues maybe was the field conditions?
Oh, no question. And obviously, when you're in a game like that and you're running the football well, you don't want to take as many chances throwing the ball over the middle. So it limited some of the passing game that you're going to be able to throw, because you don't want to put the defense in a bad situation by creating a turnover by throwing the ball over the middle. So some of our passing game was taken away, and then they were letting them play. The refs were letting those guys play, and there were a lot of contested plays, and we're so used to making those plays. And in this condition, I think it kind of neutralizes it and makes it a fair advantage. I mean, almost an even battle. Whereas on a dry surface, we probably got the advantage with our height and our speed on the outside.
Were you a little surprised on Travis's first touchdown to see Trevor down there right at the goal line with him?
Oh man, I didn't see that, and I'm anxious to see that on film now that you point that out. But no, man, he's a competitor. I mean, and obviously, man, we're in this position because of his growth and his maturity in the season, and just his will to win, will to lead, and to go out and to play through mistakes, and even when he has success, he stays humble about it. So the future is extremely bright for Trevor Lawrence, and if he'll stay true to himself, which I believe he will, just a lot like Deshaun, sky's gonna be the limit for him.